Good morning. Y'all let me know if you can hear me now. I just had to hit a restart. I'm gonna give a couple of minutes so that way everybody can come back in. I don't know what goes on with the sound. Good morning. Good morning. All right. I'm trying to let people come back in, but we've been in a minute and I don't want you to get too bored. So I'm gonna go ahead and start talking and hopefully you're able to come in. Um, Today is going pretty well. This morning I woke up and I did a post on my Instagram and I was talking about thrips and I was talking about how thrips really taught me a whole lot about my health journey when it comes to plants. Up until then, I had never really had a severe pest problem or outbreak inside the room. I had mealy bugs, but mealy bugs at that time still was something kind of new to me. I knew it was something I wasn't supposed to have, but I didn't necessarily know how to treat it. And to anybody who's ever had mealy bugs, you know that you can have those bugs for 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 months, and the plant will still be doing fairly okay until eventually it just starts to really just affect the plant a whole lot and was done. So up until then, when thrips came in, I was just completely shocked. It was a little bit overwhelming. Thrip seems to move pretty daggone fast. They start off being like little bitty little bugs. If you look a little bit closer on top of the leaves, and you start to see, and then as you zoom in on the stem, you start to see the stem start turning a little bit brown. When you have that going on, and then you have brown and random brown patches and spots in your leaves, when that starts to happen, you got a problem on your hand. Now, there are so many different type of treatments and recommendations that you could use that trying to tell you to use only one is a little bit insane. But I will say that the stuff that I use, the SNS, the 203, it works really good for your thrips and your mealy bugs. But let's just give a little bit of scenario where I was at. At that time when I was buying monsteras, plants, at that time, just in general, I just was buying a whole lot of plants. And when you're buying a whole lot of plants, it's very important that you learn how to care for those plants and give those. And when they have a problem that comes up that doesn't appear to be normal, you go ahead and aggressively attack it. If you wait for it to go away, it never will, and it's going to cause you to have a whole lot more problems. Now, I'm only suggesting this to you because you will save yourself a whole lot of money. I mean, who wants to be going to the store buying plants left and right all the time? I know I don't. So it's important for you to understand if something should happen to your plants, what you can do to get in there and prevent it. That SNS 203 seems to be about the cheapest, fastest, most effective product that I've used in a very long time that I would actually feel comfortable recommending to you. Now, hello, Miss Lady June. Yeah, I don't know why my sound went out. I'm trying to follow these new concepts. I'll tell you the truth. So I'm trying to get a little bit of help on what do I need to do to get into the algorithm in order to help me be able to reach and start. I'm all new to this, and being consistent on electronics is a little bit difficult for me. I finally figured out how to kind of care for my plants. Now I'm trying to learn how to share it. And a little bit of help from I was using the Chat GPT. It told me, hey, to get everybody into your room. Hey, how you doing, Autumn? It tells you that before you get into your room, you should give a little 5 minute heads up and let people know you're getting ready to come. So I hit the little mute button, and unfortunately, once I hit that mute button, I tried to unmute it. The sound didn't come back. So that's why we had a little bit of hiccup. But We are here now nonetheless. Yeah, when I first started getting into monsteras, I didn't think about what a pest could actually be a pest problem per se. And then I found out very quickly. And I wish I would have learned how to properly care before I went and spent $189 on a Monstera Thai constellation that lasted every bit of 4 or 5 months. And that was my dream plant, guys. I had saved up at that time. Those plants were going for like $300-400 at a decent size that I wanted to have. I knew I wasn't in a position to try that. Eventually, about a year later, I went into my local nursery. I saw one sitting there. Hey, Samantha. I went there. Good morning. I went there. I went into my local nursery, looked at it, saw it, sat on it, pondered. I was like, am I going to get this? Am I going to get this? Am I going to be able to handle this plant? Called my wife and I was like, hey, I really, really want this plant. She's like, all right, well, whatever. I'm not going to tell you what to do. I bought it, brought it home. Plant was absolutely beautiful. And it got the thrips. I tried doing a treatment. I tried just the insecticidal soap. That didn't work. I tried cutting some of the plant and moving it to the side. That didn't work. And I believe at that point, I just waited so late that it just was really just ingrained into the soil, had a full breakout. And if I know what I know now, I would have actively sprayed the plant. I would have ran some type of condition through the soil. And most likely I would have cut the plant all the way down into basically to the soil and possibly did a repot and let that plant grow from there. And I believe that plant would still be here. But what did I do? I kept cutting it. I kept seeing it. And because I had so many thrips going on as far as pests, and they're always beside each other. I believe now that I was treating one, and because it was around another one, that one would just give right back and pass back, and it just felt like I was getting nowhere. So I whacked all the monsteras down, and some of them I just threw away because it just was that bad. Um, that took my monstera collection down from at that point. I'm just gonna throw it out there. Maybe it had about 20 plants. It took me all the way down to about 4 or 5. Do a flip. Oh no, if I do a flip, I'm hitting the floor and then that's the end of this live. So you don't want me to hit that. Um, but we fast forward to this time now. Here I am with my Monstera collection and I'm feeling good about it. Now, some of the things that I have done to make sure I don't have to, what's your name? Shawn. Carson, yo, hey, how you doing? Some of the things that I have been doing to maintain the health of my Monstera collection is going around just monitoring my plants. It's very important that when you're checking the leaves of your plant, that you checking the top and the bottom of the leaves. I'm gonna get a plant. This is my Monstera pentetrium. I know I'm tearing that name up, but if you type in Monstera PIN, you're gonna be all right. Do you have a pine bonsai? I do not have a pine bonsai, but I do have a bonsai. But I'm gonna tell you right now, don't take my care tips for it because this plant has been the same size for the last 3 years. I'm gonna show that to you, but first, I'm gonna show you all the monstera. All right, so this right here is one of my monsteras. Now, when I'm going around taking a look at my plants, especially making sure the health, maintaining, making sure we don't have anything crazy going on, the first thing I do is look at the top of the leaf, of course, right? We take a look and we make sure we don't have nothing funky going on. No bugs crawling. We shouldn't have no brown spots. We shouldn't have no yellow spots. We shouldn't have no holes, no gaps, no anything in between. Next thing what we're going to do is flip the leaf at the bottom. Now the bottom of the leaf is just as important, if not more important than the top leaf, because that's where most of your pests will try to hide at. And even if you wipe them down, I have oregano plants in the yard. I heard oregano plants, they is it the ants? It's something that they do. The smell or something they give, it pushes certain insects away to not want to have to go. Do you have a cactus? I do have a cactus, the Christmas cactus, and it's not too Christmassy. Um, but that's what you want to do. You want to check your top of your leaf of your plants, and then you want to check the bottom leaf of your plants. The next place you want to check is your stems. A lot of times, if you have a pest problem going on, and you just wipe down your top of your leaves, and you miss your I think I might have hit a little bump and broke that part of a leaf that I was about to shoot. Hopefully it'll continue. Um, You also could have some pests that are going to be on your stems. That's why I would recommend, if you are giving your plant any type of treatment, do it like in a bathtub or a sink or somewhere where you can be able to submerge that plant in there. I used to have that plant. I've heard a cow dung booster growing the plants. That is absolutely true. There is, oh, now that you said it, I'm not gonna be think. I think it's called Pete's something. I think it comes in a white bag. It has like the third ingredients is cow manure. That stuff really works great. The problem is that it also catches, it holds a lot of moisture in the batch, and you can get fungus on it really quick, or like a green type of algae. So if you're not going to use it right then and there for your plants, I would not recommend you get that and hold that bag for longer than 2 or 3 months, because if you use it to repot your plants will die. Trust me, I know. I don't want you to go through that. Um, Again, check your leaves, submerge it into the water, and just to make sure if there's any pests or anything that's hiding out, any bugs, you could do your best to get it off. Use lukewarm water or room temperature water. You just don't want to go in there with straight cold water, because if you do, you're going to shock your plant. All right, let's see here. Let me go get the bonsai. Give me 1 second, okay? All right, and here go my bonsai. Okay, does need a little bit of water, but the plant being the same size for a long time, I don't. Yeah, you're right, but cow dung attract a lot of bugs and insects. I didn't know that. Thank you for sharing that. I didn't have no idea. So this is the bonsai here. As you could tell, there's nothing too glorious to look at. Um, I guess I could say it is bigger than what it was, but I know that this it needs to be repotted. And honestly, this is what comes with buying a whole lot of plants. This plant right here, I bought this one and I bought another one, and it was for me and my Oma. She was gonna have one, I was gonna have one. We was gonna call and check on it. Well, she accidentally watered hers too much and it died. And after that happened, I kind of lost a little bit of interest in the plant just because it was supposed to be something we was doing together. So I'm not gonna lie, I do kind of put it over there to the corner and just let it do what it's gonna do. But it does get good sunlight to come through on it. For the most part, I do water it at least once a month, and it still is giving me new leaves. So it means its growth is still happening. But that's what we have going on as far as with the bonsai. Now, just fast forwarding a little bit to the thrips journey on. After now knowing that I need to get in there and do an active type of treatment, I've also learned you don't need to have 1,000 plants. Now, I'm gonna tell you, I have a lot of plants, so I'm not sitting here telling you not to get a lot of plants. But understand that the more plants you get, the more problems are gonna occur with it. And if you aren't willing to put in the time to actively get in there, and if you're not willing, truthfully, if you're not willing to just deal with a little bit of pain of you can't save all the plants, then it's going to be a problem for you, because you're bound to have something to mess up. Now, do we want to be the perfect plant parents? Of course, but things like that do happen. Fruit plant bonsai is expensive. My neighbor have a mango bonsai, and one seed was $90. I didn't know they had fruit bonsais. This is the first that I've ever heard of that. And yes, I did have a garden. It was outside over the summertime, but it's cold now. Everything is completely gone. Um, I talked about growing stuff inside the house like bell peppers and tomatoes and so forth. And somebody's supposed to be getting back with me to teach me how to the right ingredients and stuff to get so that way I could do that. I'm thinking it'd be very easy. I do have a greenhouse here in the house. It's about this wide, this tall. I could at least get some type of tray down there and get that moving. I do need to buy a heat tray. I heard that the heat trays work really good with seeds, and I've actually seen the results of it. So I'm not mad at it. And I do have a video that's going to be coming out this afternoon, and it's going to be talking about why do plants struggle, or why do houseplants struggle. And I took my time on that one. If you're interested in that, it's going to come out around 7 o'clock tonight. I'm actually shooting it from the office and not inside the plant room. I wanted to switch things up a little bit because I feel like when I'm inside of here and I'm talking about one plant, we kind of start focusing on so many other plants that I lose interest in what it is I'm talking about because I'm trying to share the next thing, and it kind of makes the video a little bit choppy. So we're gonna work on that. So what I'm gonna do is, since we're 15 minutes into here, I'm gonna flip the camera around and we're gonna go around and we're gonna take a look at the room. If you all have any questions on anything, I'm gonna try to move as slow as I can as far as dragging, so that way the questions can pop up, so that way I don't miss the plant and then we go back to it and we're like, well, what in the world was we at? Also, too, um, my shirts. If anybody are interested in getting these shirts, let me show it to you. I really had that shirt on there. Okay, here we go. These are the shirts that I've been working on. They're now available for purchase if you are interested. Any of them. I'm not here to sell you anything. It's just for the ones who've been following me along for a long time. I've been talking about doing this, and we finally got it up, finally got it running. So if you're interested in it, you could definitely hit me up on my Instagram, and I'll tell you where the link and things are at. I appreciate that. Oh, dang, those are nice. Thank you. Um, but yeah, so let's get ready to do that walk around again. If you have any questions, then go ahead and ask. All right. First thing we'll start over here. This is the, I guess, the rehabilitation cabinet, we'll call it. Um, Most of the plants are pretty much healed from here, and they probably are ready to go ahead and come out of here. I don't have any place for them, so I'm gonna let them stay there. Now, what I've been doing is giving them this light that's up here and the light that's down there. They stay on for a very long time and they read really high as far as bright light, so we're okay with that. I also keep a fan over there. That fan helps a lot with ventilation and humidity. I haven't had to run it as much because it hasn't been, like, I guess, humid in here from the act since it's not summertime anymore. So that moonlight right there is loving that sun coming through that window, is finally waking up. It used to sit over there in the corner and it was more so flat, but now since it's over there, you can kind of see the leaves and stuff are starting to push up. So I'm happy about that one. The Scindapsus over here is really just enjoying his life. That's what it looks like from the side. I'm not gonna, we can see if we can get over here a little bit, just so you can take a look and see. This plant's pretty big. Closer look of the moonlight. Now, what I'm very, very excited for is my Zebra Blue Pothos over here. So what I did was put this plant inside of a self-watering container down there and allowing it to be able to run up. Is it attached to the moss yet? Uh, I haven't opened it up to take a look to see, but if I was to guess, I would say no, because this is fairly new of going in there. I probably need to get in there and do a little bit of water check. We're gonna see. I actually need to do some watering over here on my green goddess. You see those leaves that are curled? That means that it needs water and it needs it ASAP. So we're gonna get over there. Over here is the Congo. I know we talked about this one several times, but it is time for me to get ready to move this plant somewhere else. I'm gonna have to put it on the floor. That's the only place that I'm gonna have room for it to spread out. Um, Most likely, if I move that one, I'll put it over here and I pull this little one up and just put it over there. Um, the Madridian has finally fully unfurled, so you can start to see the color is starting to harden up. When it first come in, it's a very light green texture and it's very soft to the touch. It can easily pull apart and break, so I usually leave that plant alone for a while and don't touch with it. Now you can see our philodendron strawberry shape. What type of trees are those? um, well, these ones right here, this is the philodendron majestic. I mean, philodendron majesty. I'm sorry, philodendron majesty. These are the majestics over here, and I hope I'm not confusing those two names because that's what I do sometimes. And over here we have our philodendron bronze. As you can tell, that leaf comes in like a burgundy brown color, and then it eventually fades off to that green color. Now over here, I don't know exactly what I had going on. I checked the leaves. I didn't have a pest. So sometimes just a random yellow on the leaves isn't anything to be worried about. I would cut it and take it off, but it's gonna make my plant look naked right there in that area, and I really would like for it to look full if possible. And since it's not affecting the plant, I'm gonna leave it. This is my most recent unfurl. And if you take a look at the back of the leaf, you can see that red color. Let's move this way. And there. Fogs, yeah, I'm not gonna snoop on the neighbors. Why would I snoop to see what the neighbors are doing? I don't think there's any neighbors outside right now, though. Right over here, that's the Carmel marble that's been reverted, and it is really loving and starting to take off. Actually, gonna have to get an attachment on that plant, as you can see. All right, and my monstera that I have that usually sits over there in the corner is right here. All right, put you back on here. All right, so now I'm gonna open up the field for you all if anybody have any questions or anything. Um, I really do want to go to the store and purchase a plant. I've been itching to get to the plant store, but this is the crazy thing. I don't have anything that I want to buy. I just want to go there and just take a look. But I know by taking a look, I might purchase something. I don't know, but that's the really the goal for me as far as what I plan on doing. The goal for next year, as far as being here in the plant room, is I really want to take this plant room to the next level as far as building. I thought for my birthday this year, I was going to be able to get a saw. And with the saw, I was going to start making tables in here. Let me see here. Aloe veras grow so fast that it doesn't need much water or sunlight. Where would you put an aloe vera at? What's the best location? By a window, on the floor, to the side? You know, some plants like indirect, right? Share that with us. I would be curious to know. I know aloe is good too for you to be able to use on your skin. I don't know if that's what you grow the plants for, to be able to use that as well. But um, yeah, guys, that's the goal. I thought I was gonna get the saw that I was gonna be able to make shelves, not. So I'm gonna end up buying the saw myself, and we're gonna start making saw. I believe that if I do that, I'll be able to draw the room in a little bit more, and we don't have to be so spread out, and which will allow me to be able to really just get it captured. The thing is that my phone really works good as far as the width of the camera. It can get way more of a view than what we have going on right here, but the sound on it sucks. I think I dropped the phone down so many times that it doesn't work. I have my aloe 5 feet from the southern window, and it's thriving. Okay, thank you for sharing that. How big do they get, and how fast do they grow? Bro, is that Will Smith? Yeah, I wish I was Will Smith. Well, I don't wish to be anybody but myself. Although I would like to have some of the money that's in the account. Don't slap anyone, bro. No, no, I don't have no slapping tendencies. If I ever get to the point I get that worked up where I really want to slap somebody, 9 out of 10, I didn't like that person to start with, and I wouldn't even be around them. Um, I've reached this point in the age in my life where I don't get triggered to the point where I'm gonna put my hands on anybody. And now I don't even talk trash. I will simply, somebody says something that's rude, disrespectful. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get in my car and I'm gonna keep it moving. What are you growing your? Oh, that's a good question. And good morning. I am growing that in a chunky mix. We actually can get a little bit closer because it's in a clear pot. That is a really good question. Let's come over here. All right. So as you can see, it's in a very nice chunky mix here. All right, so what's inside this mix is 50% indoor pot mix, 25% perlite, and 25% orchid bark. And I make the soil myself. It's cheaper to make it yourself if you have but so many. And as you can see, that's the size, and that's where the plant is at. And this plant right here, it needs to be attached. The stem actually needs to be attached to the wall so it can run. It's still sitting there. I was supposed to get to that for a very long time, probably like the last week and a half. But I'll be honest, guys, we have had a lot of orders. It's not a bad place to be in, but we've had a lot of orders and it has taken away a lot of my time, which is why it was so important that as I buy plants and the plants that I've already bought, they have been very easy going plants. I can't have no difficult plants that I have to monitor and I have to watch hourly just to make sure that they do all right. So that's why I haven't reached that comfort zone yet of spending a whole lot of money on a plant because I'm not at a place in my life where I feel like I can give it the time to actually watch. You have the soul mix recipe video? Yes, I do. I do. I have a couple of them. I've done it a lot of times. Probably have about 5 or 6 different videos floating out there. That if you haven't seen it yet, I'll tell you right now, the mix is easy. I just use an indoor pot mix. I use perlite and I use orchid bark. That's pretty much it. You could put a little bit of horticulture charcoal in there for good measures if that's what you want to go with. Um, but that is very simple. Don't worry though, if you haven't seen it yet, I usually make a new video of that like every 2 months because I'm using mixing the soil together. That's another thing that I'll do. If I'm not using up a soil that I mixed up in about 2 or 3 months, that's the span, I'll usually go ahead and toss it. I don't play around with keeping a lot of soil up, so I'm not tossing a lot. So best believe it's only a little tiny bit that I get rid of. I know you, so keep your wallet at home before going to. listen, listen. That's the reason why I haven't actually gone to the plant store. I keep saying I'm going there to look, but I know that I'm going there to look to buy something. Um, One thing that I do want to do next year, I do want a little bit more color in the room. Now, I've been following this one girl. I think her name is Urban Blockers or Urban Flockers, and she has a whole lot. Do you have a spider plant? I do not have a spider plant. I had one that was gifted to me. It did really good for 3 years, and out of nowhere, it started having babies. I cut 2 or 3 of the babies, and the mother plant died, and the babies died too. So I don't know. It didn't like me. Am I scared to get another one? I don't know. I don't know if I really like them or not. Have you ever bought a plant sometimes and it does good for you, it gives you what you wanted, but then all of a sudden it just no longer does it? And that was a spider plant for me. What about a Florida ghost philodendron? Do you have one? I do not have a Florida ghost. I do have a Florida green right here. Now, I had a Florida ghost. The thing is about my Florida ghost, it grew very slow. I don't know if that's common or if I just had a plant that just didn't have no good genetics, but I never really had a problem growing a philodendron before. Now I've lost a couple of philodendrons just off of not watering them and forgetting about them, or if they've fallen behind at that time when I had baby plants, they would sometimes fall behind the rack, and when they fall behind the rack, I wouldn't notice that they was gone until it was watering time, or I'm cleaning up, sweeping under the floor, sleeping on the rack. I'm like, oh my goodness, I'm missing some plants. And there we go. We just see the little pot just rolling along with the little dead up plant crinkling along the floor. So I've had 2 Florida ghosts. Spent pretty good money on one of them. One of them was like $48, and I think the other one I may have gotten a piece for like $25. But um, they just don't like me. First one died off of water. Second one died off. I'm gonna go with genetics. I Yeah. She the girl that I was following, she grows orchids, and Orchids have never really been a plant that stood out to me to want to get and own personally. Like I would buy one every once in a while just because the color, like a blue one or a purple, I'll see it in the grocery store. I'm like, yes, I have to have it. But usually when it gets to the point where all the petals fall off, I think it's petals, I'm not for sure. But when all of it falls off, I'm like, okay, I'm done with the plant. Throw it away, keep it moving. And they said the worst thing you can do to an orchid is give it ice cubes, even though that's what they recommend that you do with it. I take the people's advice. If they say don't give it ice cubes and they have a lot of good plants, and which she does, she has a great amount of plants and they all look really good. I'm not going to give mine no ice cubes either. Because, as a matter of fact, no idea. Uh oh. Did I miss something? Okay. But okay, so I'm assuming most people on here, you all are buying plants, thinking about buying plants. What are some plants you thinking about getting? I'm curious to know. I'm nosy. I might want to go and buy those plants too. Who knows? Um, I do need to get in here one day and do just an assessment on all of the plants just to kind of see what the next size is going to be. Since I bought all my plants pretty much around the same size or around the same age, yes, some of them have taken off to be bigger. Their root system still pretty much is the same on a lot of the plants that I bought. Since they're in the same family, they kind of grow at the same rate. I usually grow pots in bunches, buy them in bunches. I have to. So instead of buying like two or three pots, I usually buy about 10 to 20 of the same pots. The last time I did that was the self-watering pots. And I talked about the self-watering pots. We went through it. I even did a video on it on how I feel about it. The self-watering pots are really, really good for people who don't want to water their plants a lot or are forgetful at watering their plants a lot. What's the average temperature of your plant room? Average temperature between 69 and 68 degrees. Sometimes they get up to 70. It just depends on when all the grow lights are going in the afternoon time. I do start to notice that it picks up a little bit and it holds the heat that's coming into the house. But usually during the daytime, the temperature is a little cooler than what it's like in the summer. In the summer, it averages 72 degrees. In the wintertime, we're looking at 68, 69. Now, one of the things that's helped if you go into Home Depot or Lowe's, I don't know the price of it now because everything went up. I bought mine either last year or the year before last. That's going to be this right here. Okay. This right here is a heater fan. Now, the cool thing about this is that it could spin. So as it heats up, you could set it on, it could just stand still, or it could heat up. Now, you have to now. Well, I'm telling you this, but really listen. When you do this, you could set your heater on and you can turn your humidifier on for about 10 or 15 minutes. And I'm telling you, it's gonna feel like a rainforest. It's gonna feel so good. Now, depending on the size of the room and where you're at, it could take a little bit longer or below. But what I'm saying is don't leave it unattended. That's the main thing I want to say. I'm not saying anything bad has happened before, but I don't think turning on a fan that's blowing heat and a humidifier that's blowing out water should be left in the same room for a long period of time without being monitored. Okay. But if you are starting to have a lot of problems with like your philodendrons or your big leaf plants that are dealing with a lot of leaf stuck, then you definitely need to get some humidity in there. Unless you want to get in there with spray bottles to be misting or taking your hands and Q-tips and popping them all out. Very time consuming and also a very risky task. I mean, just as many plants as I help unfurl, I've also broke some stems of them too and been pretty upset because there've been some plants that I really look forward to watching their leaves come in. Who doesn't want to watch to see their plant grow, right? But if you put those aside, you'll do really really good if you put those two in if you're dealing with those type of issues. Yeah. But guys, if you all don't have any questions, I'm gonna get ready to hop off of here. I'm supposed to be meeting my mom where communication got mixed up and she was supposed to go spend Christmas with my sister and then we was going to get together. I don't know what happened sideways. Long story short, we're going to meet each other so we can exchange gifts and then we're going to see each other at some point in time. Your heat and humidifier, It is. I'm telling you, you put those two together. Put your heater and your humidifier together. Let it be in the afternoon time. Turn you on some music, whatever it is that you listen to. Get you, if you want to get you a book, whatever it is. I like to get me a notepad and just write down some goals that I want to get to. I have this thing that I do that every day I write a new plan, and that's going to be the thing that I'm going to do. But if you do it every day, you never commit yourself into actually doing something. So it's been working really good for me to write something down in the afternoon time or early in the morning time and keep it somewhere where I'm going to be at. For me, it's I'm recording on it. I'm gonna say for me, it's my iPad. I'm gonna keep my iPad with me wherever I go. I mean, I had that with me before I put my shoes on. I have walked out the house with just that going on. Walked out the house with no shoes, thinking I'm going somewhere, but I make sure that I have this, my iPad. If you put that stuff in there, the reminders, they really are key to making sure that you don't forget anything. Sometimes I'll do repotting and I'll just write down a little note saying I need perlite or I need moss, and I have an alarm set to go off every Sunday that says checklist, and I could check the list, and once I check the list, I know what I need to get on Amazon for. All right, and we have, I think somebody asked one more question. I appreciate that. You're my favorite streamer. I appreciate that. I'm learning the logistics of it, and I'm gonna get it all the way down so that we could be very, very productive in there. My El Choco drinks a gallon of water weekly. She's in a self-watering pot the only way. Those Those, okay. When are you going to stream again? I stream every day from 11:30 to 12, and as long as the conversation is good, I'll push it a little bit to 12:30. Videos and sounds coming through. Sounds good. Thank you, thank you. It wasn't there. This soon as I got on, actually right when I got on live, I turned around and had to get off because the sound or something wasn't clicking. I'm gonna tell you what I tried to do. I tried to shortcut it. I tried to just hop on without my mic or anything. Say, oh, I can get by with this. YouTube said, no, let's do that over again. So I did have to do it again. Let's talk about the El Choco Red. Yeah. Listen, I'm embarrassed to show you my El Choco Red. I have it upstairs in a room, and actually I don't have it upstairs. You want to see it? If you tell me you want to see it, I will show you the El Choco Red. It's not it's something. It's something, but I'm not embarrassed to show you. It happens. I need to take your advice and do the self-watering container. I had it and I took it out and I don't know what happened. Okay, I'm gonna go get it. All right, now I'm doing this big reveal. Don't laugh, okay? It has feelings. No, it's pretty bad. Look at that. Have you ever seen a leaf go down and the other one go up? Where they do that at? I don't know. But yeah, so uh you gonna follow me? Dang, that's messed up. Well, I'm not gonna show you the other ones. But yeah, that's funny. But yes, I don't know what happened. I don't know what happened. Mine has 3 foot leaves in a tin pot. She's too dry. El Choco Red, that's my kryptonite. It is so beautiful. Gosh, I saw this one girl. She had one. I know I probably talked about it before. Her name was Green Punches. She doesn't do an attempt. That plant is huge. How long have you had yours? We might have talked about this before. How long have you had that plant? Because what I was thinking about doing with this one was I was gonna stick this one in the soil. I was gonna see if I can twirl it around or at some point in time all the way up here so that way I can get as much like 4 years. Is it a slow grower? Would you say it's a slow grower? It was this girl that I followed on Instagram. I still follow her, but she doesn't do plants. You know, that's one of the other things that we talk. Substrate is too dry. What mix do you think I should do? If you was to recommend, how should I do the blend? Should I do a 70% indoor pot mix and do just a 10% orchid bark? Because I agree with you. It definitely is too dry. Some of these plants, the mixes, I got a little overboard with trying to make sure it had an airy mix. And some of this stuff actually needs to retain some moisture, especially on Monteras and so forth. Said soil and or mix. What's the ratio? What's the question? Do I have what kind of plants? Does that say do I have gay plants? Do you have gay plants? I mean, I would guess all my plants are happy. What are your plants pronouns? Listen, my plants are they're whatever I want to call them. I know I'll be switching the names. I'll call one of them Martha and then turn around and call it John tomorrow. It's whatever I'm feeling for the day. Okay. If it's acting like it needs to act, it gets a cool name. If it's acting like it wants to be a problem and cut up, it gets such a nice, not cool name. You said 80%. Okay, I would do that. And also, too, while we're here, while I have you, should I take this and drop it down into the soil? Should I just cut this off? What would you recommend when I do this repot? Because I'm tired of fooling around with this plant. I have been growing this plant or this type of plant for the last 3 years. Yes, drop. Should we cut? I got you on the hot seat. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to. I'm trying to get my plants taken care of, guys. What time do you stream? No cut. I'll follow you along and I'll keep you updated. What time do I stream? I'm going to be on from 11:30 to 12. I didn't mean to point, sorry. 11:30 to 12, and if things kick in a little bit longer, we'll definitely take it to 12:30. But guys, with that being said, I appreciate y'all coming through, hanging out with me. Um, I'm gonna get ready to pack myself up, get the kids together. We're gonna drive, we're gonna meet my mom, get those gifts, and then we're gonna come back to the house and I'm gonna do a little bit of work. But don't forget, guys, I have the video that's gonna be coming out tonight at 7 o'clock, and it's gonna be a very, very different type of atmosphere. I think it's gonna be really good for me. It helped me out a lot. I'm not overwhelmed. I'm actually just to sit down, talk calm, and I really felt like I was in my zone. You all just let me know how you feel about the video. If you get a little bit of time, drop your comments. I'm not gonna be offended. Don't go out there talking all that rude, reckless stuff now, but go down there and give me your honest thing, because if it's work and if you all like it, I definitely want to keep that concept. I feel comfortable about it, but I want to make sure it is a nice learning environment and we're able to get from it. But as always, y'all take care and I will see you tomorrow.